What's up? What's up? Early tease for UFC Denver. We are going to have a little recap, stay accountable of the bets last week, see what we can fix, and also see if we can have some early leans with minimum tape on the UFC and on the regionals. So, this is first time listening, BigSteve, full time gambler from Australia. 2K units, 25,000 up. Not bad. Could be much better. Could be much better. We'll see what we can improve right now, shall we? Let's go through the recap of last week. So first we started off with ACA 177. I have mentioned before that I really wanted ACA to be my new, my new KSW, new Octagon. Those are my best performing regional shows on Octagon, not Octagon, on in Europe. And a lot of the time, I need to get Bet365 accounts all the time. And for ACA, I don't. It's on Bet Online, which I do have a Bet Online account, and supposedly they don't limit. We've yet to find out that's true. So I was like, yeah, this would be perfect. There's ACA almost every week. And yeah, so I tried to take this whole 19 fight card. Brutal. Took a lot out of me. And then I just feel like, by the end of it, I'm forcing things. I'm still getting to know these guys. What I did have, I had 750 on Vladimir Vasiliev, fading Ramazan Ameev. I had to go back to the well. Ramazan Ameev, 37 years old, took two years off. I faded him in his last two fights. Massive favorite against Danny Roberts. And then he was pick'em against Jack Della when I played him. And then heaps of money came in on Jack Della, round 1 KO. So I had to bet it here. Vladimir seemed like a bit young and unproven, and he can be taken down. That's one of his issues. But a lot more volume. Haven't watched it, but apparently it was a good bet. Apparently he stuffed the first 17 takedown attempts or whatever and lost the decision because he kept being held up against the cage. His time will come. Ramazan Ameev's time will come. I'm going to be fading this dude in ACA for sure. And then, I basically passed on everything. And then I forced Daoud Shaikaev in the main event. He rematched Ali Bargov. First fight was a split decision. I thought he was clear. Daoud 29-28 in the first fight. These guys basically just clinch and grapple and take each other down. Daoud's better at getting up. Ali Bargov is probably a better, more physical wrestler with more of a jiu-jitsu game. He likes to backpack and he spends too much time off his back. So yeah, I was. This was an easy pass for me. I taped it first. I'm like, yeah, this played out pick him the first time. I got no interest, and Daoud was on short notice. And then he went to slight dog, and I was like, that's probably accurate because of the short notice. And then a couple of the boys started playing Daoud, and I was like, they're probably right. Daoud has the better get ups and the better top time, and he seems to have good cardio. And then as the week went on, I'm like, I should probably buy out. And then he went back to pick him again, and I couldn't buy out, so I just let it ride. And yeah, awful bet. I think Ali won 4-1. Daoud looked flat. He couldn't scramble with him. So yeah, I lost 750 on both those bets, which is like the max on Bet Online, 500 USD. So 1,500. Swept the card again. The only other big loss I had this week was ACA start of the week. I played a bunch of dogs. So yeah, about 3,500 loss on ACA this month, which is the main reason why I really didn't clean up. So I have to iron out before I can understand these fighters the way I understand KSW and Octagon. I probably have to tread lightly. Just watch the fights, don't force bets, and just bet the ones I'm really confident in. I think the Vladimir bet was good, fading Ameev, but the other one was bad. And also, I was about to play Artem Reznikov, $1.60, a little bit better than -200, and I just felt like it was a square bet. But I thought Koko was washed. He has no good wins, and yeah, apparently Reznikov dominated. So if I was more confident, I should have locked that in. But oh well. So we start the week off with a $1,500 down. We move on to PFL. Not my favorite card to chase with, let's be honest. PFL, as if you listen to me, is just horrible for me. I went in with one bet. Kai Kamaka, KO, Kai Kamaka inside the distance, 10 cents difference. I didn't want to play the under because I thought Kai was the only guy with a finishing upside. I get it. Kamaka can't bust the grape, but I'm an advocate of Pedro is the softest chin in the game. I played Brendan Longrain against him by KO, and I played it small. It was plus money because he's not the best finisher, right? Brendan, he can be way too low volume, one shot at a time, and he just dropped Cavallo ASAP. Just the worst chin in the game. Yeah, the stoppage was early, but just how quickly he lost his equilibrium. So I said to myself, Kai does hit hard. He hurt Bubba Jenkins a bunch of times. He dropped a bunch of guys he's fought. he just has bad finishing instincts, and he gasses out. I mean, dropped TJ Brown, dropped Danny Chavez, Kevin Bowman knocked out. Yeah, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So I donated 750 there. Um, I know last week when I did my recap, I donated a lot of live bets, and I said I would do it. And yeah, Don Marge, I donated 300 on Don Marge. That kind of tilted me. Um, so I was like, oh, here we go. I said I wouldn't donate, and I donated 300 already. And I'm down 1,500 on an ACA. You know, imagine if I lose all. I was about $4,000 up on a really tough month. And I was like, imagine if I'm just bad thoughts going through my mind. Imagine if I lose all my profit in this last week. You know, I wanted to finish the month off good. So I'm down almost $2,000 now. But I'll go into Invicta, right? Even though I haven't finished, I'll go so you guys can see how I felt. So I taped Violetta Mendoza versus Fallon Johnson. That's the first fight on the card, and she was an underdog. I'm just seeing Fallon's bloody awful. She's getting hit. She's getting taken down, stiff as a board. And I'm like, why is this Violetta girl underdog? She's got one pro fight. She has a win. Fallon has nothing. And then I start asking people, do you guys know? Do you guys know? And they're like, nah, she's crap. She's crap. And whenever I'm asking people for opinions that I just trusting my gut, that's a red flag. So if Violetta wins round 1 KO, so now I'm tilted, right? I'm down $300 on the stupid live bet on PFL. I passed on Tyler Diamond. I thought that should have been a pick'em. Didn't pull the trigger. He ends up winning 29-28. I'm down 1,500 on ACA, one force bet, and I passed on Reznikov. So now I'm like, tilt is kicking in now, right? Tilt is kicking in. Zoe Nowitzki, she was, I know some of the boys, Dogfather played her, and my friend played her, and then she went up to plus 140. I passed. She ends up dominating. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. You know, as long as Kai Kamaka wins, I'm good. Passed on everything else. Passed on Andrei Koreshkov, Kizriev. It was a tough card. And Kai Kamaka puts on that performance, and I'm like, oh, man, now I'm down 1,000 on PFL, 1,200 on ACA, and I'm only up 3,500 for the month. So I'm like, I'm getting close to break even here. And then I'm quickly taping Invicta. I'm trying to find some spots, right, with a bit of tilt. So this is a dangerous game. You know, I don't advise chasing on tilt. So I go, I know my boy Dog and a couple others were on Adressa Romero. So I quickly take that. You know, I'm like, all right, there's a bunch of sharps on this side. I'm not going to have time to take the whole Invicta card. Let's focus on that. And, yeah, the chick's physical. She's throwing girls around. She, you know, had a back and forth with Dirth, who is a French chick, a French grappler, Eva Dirth. And, you know, she's dropping down in weight. And I know this Saori Oshima. She's a girl that was in Ryzen and really, really tiny, smaller than atom weight. And she's moving up in weight, and she weighed undersized. And she's like a guard player. She has good entries, but she's really small. Some of us contemplated fighting against Claire Lopez. And, yeah, she was doing she was losing or doing, you know, it was a back and forth fight until she got an armbar. So I didn't have that much time to tape. So I'm like, man, this Romero is going to be huge. She's physical. I know this Saori Oshima. She's probably going to be losing position. Had a look at Romero's record. Brown belt, never been subbed. I'm like, if this goes to decision, there's going to be some value in Romero. So I put like $800. You know, the max I could put on Pinnacle. You know, they were still taking like 500 USD, like a maximum. I put that on, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm not even going to go deep tape. There's no time. Hopefully that's value. And I'm just like, oh man, if I lose this quick bet, I'm definitely gonna be tilted. Then I'll be in the minus for the month. And then, you know, PFL's going on. Shamil Murad Ramazanov is next. Haven't really taped it. I'm like, I know Shamil is an animal. He can KO anyone. And I know he's a bit bad off his back. So I see down to 2.5 is plus money. I end up putting $500 there to win 500. I didn't want to go massive because totals are quite tilting, especially when you don't put the tape in. So I bet that. And I bet Romero, and now I go downstairs to take a bit of a break because I'm tilted and just calm myself down just in case I lose both those bets. I'll be in the negative for the month. And then I make my shake. I come back up. I see Shamil killed him, so I make $500 back. And then Romero starts, and she loses the first round. She wins the second round, and I've never been this like on the edge emotionally. And then she wins, and I make 1,200 on Romero. So I make it all back. You know, passed on Larkin. I didn't watch it. I ended up playing Braga last minute, round 3 KO. I wrote in my notes, play 2-3. Couldn't find 2-3. Play a live bet. I actually live bet Braga. And then I bet him a pick him after he lost round 1 to Jenkins. And then round 2, he as he got hurt, and then Jenkins went for a takedown, I cashed out for $90 minus, and then Braga knocks him out right away. Usually I would have been extremely tilted at that, but I didn't care because I won my Romero bet. I won my doesn't go bet. So I was like, whatever. I lost $100 there. Who gives a crap? And I went big on. I played as much as I could on Umalatov. I played $1,000 Umalatov under 1.5 rounds against Ward. Yeah, he was juicy, but Ward is built a kill or be killed. I parlayed Umalatov sub with Storley decision minus money, whatever, to win 500. So I ended up plus $100 for PFL. I didn't care. It's like break even. I hate the promotion. So hard to profit for me. And then yeah, made 1,200 on Invicta, and I was like $300 down on ACA, but that's a good result for me. UFC to come. What was that? That's a good result. UFC to come. It was going to be a lot worse, and if I can get some profit on UFC, Bob's your uncle. So quite a roller coaster for myself. Quite a roller coaster. So we're going to the UFC. A lot of regrets here. Vincius Oliveira, I thought this was value. I mentioned it on an early pod. And I was like, if I'm going to play him, probably should play money line. I don't see him winning minutes. But then as the time went on, I spent too much time on the under. I passed on it. That was a good decision. But I hated myself for passing that money line. I could have bet him at underdog live bet when I passed. When he stuffed the first takedown, I didn't. And then I could have bet him $1.66 being 2-0 up in rounds 2. And then when he hurt his leg, I passed. So bit of money lost there. Ray Saruya, Carlos Hernandez. These next 4 fights is where I had the best leans. I didn't play any of them, so that was quite annoying. I was also competing today, so I was a bit on the edge. I was like watching fights right before my first match. Ray Saruya, I thought the over was the best play here. A lot of people playing Carlos Hernandez. I didn't think he was a good dog. He gives up too many advantages to Ray. Not physical, bad takedown defense. It looked like Carlos was going to win round 1, so I bet Ray I bet Carlos live as an underdog, $400, and then he ended up giving a takedown at the end of the round and lost round 2, and lost 29-28. So tilt's coming back a little bit. I missed out on an easy Oliveira bet, and now I lost $400 on a live bet when I could have just played the over. I like the over in Budai. That was a little bit annoying. It was chalky, but it looked like 90%. I like Jillian Robertson. If you listen to the show, I said I see a lot of people playing Gomez, and Gomez is a horrible underdog. And yeah, just didn't get around to playing. I played her and 1 takedown on Neds on my bookie, but I could only do $100. I was going to put $1,000 on that. It was almost pick 'em. Nothing on Peyton Talbot. I mean, the under was value. I had my Gene Silva 350 and 250 at 350 and 300 at plus 160 and plus 140. $2.40, $2.60 to win $1,000. A lot of people playing Charles Jourdain. I get it. He was meant to have the volume edge, but you see Jourdain getting hurt by Wood, by Erosa, Rojo, just a bunch of guys. Koulibaly, I ended up thinking this is a good fight for Gene Silva, and he lived up to it. Absolutely destroyed him. Good fighter. Looking forward to seeing more from him. Nothing on Philly. Cub Swanson. Not interested in like a 2-wash guy fight. I ended up live betting Swanson $300 after round 1, after midway through round 2 to win $900. Again, another great bet, live bet, just like Nasrat versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, I bet at $6 as well. He wins round 2, I thought, in my opinion, clear. And then round 3, quite close, but I thought Cub Swanson edged it. He was landing all the punches on Philly. Philly had negative body language, kept trying to grapple him. He couldn't take him down. I felt a bit robbed there, but that's fine. So now I've given a bit of my Gene Silva, $300 profit. Joe Pfeiffer, I mentioned on the podcast, played the under 1.5 because that's usually when he gets the finish. Passed on it, easy money. Then I went to my comp. I brought my laptop with me. I weighed in. I went back to the car. I had like another 2 hours to my match. I like Michael Page. When I retaped it properly, I said, I don't want to donate. I think Gary's going to get another minus EV. The takedowns are there. Sub was close. Props to everyone that keeps donating to Ian Machadi's sub. That was probably the only time that it was close. But Michael Page, good defense. And then I could have live bet Michael Page in round 2 at $4, which is my ideal live bet. That's what I've been doing. Great. At the best odds. And I hesitated. And then I ended up live betting him in round 3 at a much worse line, barely plus money. But he still got on top. And I'm like, wow, he's going to ride out at 29-28. And he gets up and he lets Ian take him down and steal the fight. So that's frustrating. I'm basically like $200 up now. I gave up all my Gene Silver profits. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I live bet Jillian at like $1.30 in round one. I bet 900 to win 300 when it looked like she was pressuring heaps against Waters and Gomez. Mesa Shoton, I had Maribota Silva inside the distance, $500 sub, like $400 sub, $100 KO, and inside the distance. I was really close to playing Myra money line, but I didn't want to be on her money line when she's gassed and getting taken down and playing guard. So the good thing is I only wasted $500. I thought she was live for a KO or a finish. I thought Macy was going to dive into a guillotine. Props to Macy. She took a lot of punishment from Silva. That was some brutal knees and elbows in the clinch. Her chin held up. Maybe the whole mental thing that she's doing with mental coach is working for her because she showed great grittiness there. Obviously, the cut messed me up. Nothing on the leads there. Regret passing on that money line. My biggest bet, most confident bet, was Diego Lopez over Ortega. I think we can all agree that I was going to win, unfortunately. And then I wanted to play round two and under 2.5 rounds on Alex Pereira Jiri, but I was at my comp. I missed it. I forgot. A lesson in locking in your bets day before, because whenever I don't lock bets in, I forget about them. So yeah, I lost like $100 there. Pretty much break even. I lost like $300 for the week. Not bad considering I started 1,500 down on ACA, and then it looked like I was going to be down even bigger on PFL, and missed out on some easy bets, but luckily got it back. My biggest regret, forcing a bet on ACA and not playing Reznikov. PFL, not much regrets. You know, I don't mind my Kai bet. I said to myself I wouldn't pass. I locked it in. Shit happened. I think it was live to KO, but he didn't do it. Yeah, not much I regret there. I made my way back to profit, you know, bit by bit. And UFC, I regret a bit. I regret not even putting at least just $500 on Oliveira money line. I regret not playing the over in the Ray fight. I regret live betting Carlos. I regret not playing the over in Budai. I regret not doing a unit or 2 units on Gillian Robertson. I mean, there's a lot of regrets. Regret not playing Piper under 1.5. Regret live betting Michael Page when he looked like he was going to be a minus CV loser. Yeah, bunch of regrets there. I did a little list of what I can improve. So I've been spending too much time on regionals with minimum return. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the UFC. UFC, even if they seem like bad cards for betting, like last week, there's still spots. You know, I was able to identify Jillian as Waterson as a horrible underdog, mush of the week, shall I say? But if I spent more time taping UFC, I might have actually come around to the fact that Jillian has a ton of value. But I didn't. I just focused on a 19 card shit show ACA card, and then I burned myself out. So from here on out, I'm going to try to stop losing so much money on live bets, even though they're good value, or maybe just poke them. Go back to playing out capping how the fight will play out. When I was capping how fights will play out, I had a lot more bets. My boy Pepe said you can make the argument that there's value in every single fight. And, you know, in hindsight, looking at this card, you can, you know. Talbot KO had value at minus money. Swanson had value. Michael Page had value. Delize decision had value, right? The under 2.5, yeah, they all have value, but as long as you can play it out. So if you play out Waterson, you know, she's going to back up and she's eventually going to give up the takedown. I said on the pod, she might look value until she gets taken down, right? So play out exactly how the fight's going to go instead of just looking at the fights and going, oh, low women's MMA, chalk, pass. Just go deep into how it'll play out, work out my staking, think about wins, not losses, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, see how that goes, you know. Focus on the UFC a bit this week from here on out. Stop losing money on live bets. And hopefully have a good last part of the year. 25,000, I think I'm close to 20 units. Yeah, it'll be much better. I'm excited. I'm excited about contender series and whatnot, and I'm excited about making more money, getting more aggressive. All right, that was probably a long recap. MMA Engine, Big Mother F and Steve. Who's this? Is this Lou or is this Wheezy? I don't know who's part of MMA Engine anymore. Brendan, how are you, sir? Thanks for tuning in. Riding High. Hey, what's up, boys? What's up, Riding High? Dogfather, the dog. Kai deserves prison. He sure does. Romero, that's it. Community bet. Let's go. Community Discord bet. Alrighty. Long recap, my bad. It is what it is. I try and make this educational because it's clearly not entertaining if you listen to everyone else. apparently the most boring podcast out there. So I might as well make it educational. So I like to go over the things that we can all fix, make more money. All right, Montel Jackson. So I did a little bit of tape. I know usually I do no tape on these early looks, but I did a bit of tape, obviously. As I said, I'm focusing on UFC, even though there's LFA this week. So let's see what we have, right? Montel Jackson, Damon Blackshear, nothing. I got no tape here whatsoever. I see Damon is a bit of a favorite. Let me just have a look. I'll go to a Bet365. That might be easier for me. Come on, you fucker. Not out yet. Let me go on best fight odds, but pretty sure Damon is a slight favorite, which I guess I get. But yeah, these guys are both high level. Quite a good high level fight. I would have done this breakdown a lot sooner, but I was just waiting for Doba to get his opponent and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's wiki capping it now. Let me just have an idea. And I want to say this pod has been working out for me so well. Everything that all the leans that I've kind of had without tape have been good. The 1.5 in the Joe Pye farm, whatnot, and Julian potentially being a favorite play. They're all workouts, so I'll try to lock in some of these leans without tape in the future. I'm also trying to tape less, burn myself out less. Damon Jackson, yeah, so he can be a bit minus EV if he doesn't get knockdowns. And Damon Blackshear, from my memory, he's never been finished, and his chin is pretty good, although I remember him getting dropped by Chris Martinez. So I think it all depends on Damon Blackshear's chin. He was also hurt by Yusuf Zalal, but I think Yusuf Zalal, we see now, underrated power. Yeah, interesting fight. I can't say anything, so let's move on. Can't say anything. Again, this is a first look. I'm not going to have an opinion on every fight. Yeah, Damon is quite juicy, but he has been grappled before to losses. Joshua Van, Charles Johnson. Again, no read. I can't bet Joshua Van at this minus money. I'm not really a Charles Johnson fan, but he's durable. He has power. I know Charles is good at winning fights on short notice. That's his MO. But, a couple of these times when he had a short notice fight like Ode Osborne, he was more gassed than Ode Osborne, and Ode is a gas bag. So, yeah, make of that what you will. You don't know how these short notice guys come in, even though usually he has good cardio. He's on a bit of a streak, 2-fight winning streak, which, at one point looked like he was about to get cut. I've been fading him. I fed him against Cody and that's it. Oh, Rafael Esteban, pardon me. I love him against Jake Hadley, but he hasn't really improved, man. It looked like he should have ran through Jake Hadley in round 3, and he almost gave it up. I think if that wasn't in his hometown, that could have been a split decision. So, yeah, both these guys like to build. I favor Van, but Van has his own issues too. So again, I think the over is going to be like minus 200 here. So yeah, let's move on. Got some comments. Laguna, good podcast. I appreciate your breakdown, your ups and downs with gambling. It'll be like that realistic. That's it, man. That's it. It is realistic. It's I went through a lot last year, and this year I'm going through the exact same stuff. So it makes it quite easy, It's like, oh, I'm down 3,000, whatever. I did the same thing last year, losing a lot of live bets, seeing the same shit last year. So the experience is helping me deal with it. It's just another day, really, in gambling. Good call with betting more on the UFC, mate. It will pay off. Exactly. You just can't, man. The reads on the UFC and the footage that you have, and even knowing the opponents. Like if Josh Van loses to someone in the UFC, I know everything about that opponent. If that opponent has fought 5 times in the UFC, it's just like the tape, the data. It's just so easy to make bets, even if it's like chalk, like Gillian Robertson. Like I've watched 20 fights of Gillian Roberts, and I just know that even if she struggles for a takedown in round 1, she'll get him in rounds 2 and 3 and then dominate. It's just, got to focus on UFC more. Even though it's hard, sometimes I get G'd up about taping regionals and fighters that I've never seen. It makes the job exciting, But watching the same UFC fight for the millionth time can be a bit draining. Going through it too, brother. Shit sucks, but thrills. That's it. I don't know who you are, Laguna. You might be new, but I appreciate it, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm actually doing all right. I made $4,000 last month. It's only 2 units or under 2 units, but hey, it's better than breaking even. It's better than losing money. So I'm going to smash the year. So it's good. All right, Josh Friend, Andrei Petrosky. I taped this because two flakes, two shit fucks pretty much. And I thought Josh Friend is the more reliable shit fuck. He's got power, he's got submissions, and Andrei Petrosky is more likely to flake. But I don't know, man. After this, when Friend made his debut, I remember putting down in my notes, the guy will either get KO'd or he will get wrestled in his losses. He got wrestled by Robert Gidrian, who's an awful fighter now. He got knocked out by Gregory Rodriguez, and then Anthony Hernandez proceeded to wrestle him. Trey Shangol was taking him down. Jamie Pickett took him down. So Andrei Petrosky has a path. He's a lot more physical. Does he have more power? I don't think so, but he will throw hard. And Josh Friend has a tall man defense. And this is just a shit show. Now it's a pick'em, feels pick'em. I do still slightly favor Josh Friend. I think Friend's fought the better opposition and beat the better opposition. I know it doesn't look like it in the UFC, but on the regionals, Bruno Oliveira, Joe Bauman, Renato Galante in LFA, these are like decent guys. I think Andrei Petrosky has been quite lucky with obviously the guys they've been giving him. They've been giving him Yazong Hu and Michael Gilmore. And I've been trying to fade this guy with some of these bums. Nick Maximov's cut now. Jared Miotrat went to a split decision, ran through by Michael Pereira and Jacob Malkoon. It's funny, Malkoon couldn't finish Nick Maximov with one knee, and he was about to finish Cody Brundage, and then he fucked it. And then he goes and gets his first finish with some freaky hip KO over Andrei Petrosky. So that's pretty funny to me. Anyway, shit show fight. If this under 2.5 or something is anything decent, I might jump on it. Probably won't be. I won't jump on it. But yeah, both these guys like guillotines, and both will sell out for guillotines, and they'll also put their neck in guillotines. So we'll see. Viviana Araujo, Yasmin used the vicious. Not much tape. I just taped Yasmin versus Cortez, because Cortez is the main event, and then I taped Yasmin versus Cachoeira. I know her well. I think I could make a play based on that. I was on her small against Miranda Maverick. Wish I went bigger, but hindsight things. And yeah, I mean, I kind of favor her here. The issue is I just got reminded how hittable she is. Cortez basically won that fight by stumbling her a bunch of times. 30-27, don't really agree. But yeah, Viviane Araujo, really good striking, good hands, power for female division. I remember I bet her as a $3.50 underdog against Lita Bernardo in her UFC debut, and she just deaded her with an overhand right. And I was a fan ever since then. But yeah, she's lost some red flag fights, to Jessica Ai and Caitlin Chikagian, which I think she won to this day. She really has elite takedown defense, against Montana De La Rosa, Roxanne Modafferi. She's good at getting her own takedowns. But I've been seeing her get rocked a little bit recently. Andrea Lee hurt her. Ribas hurt her multiple times. The Natalia Silva fight was quite competitive. I think she lost a clear 29-28, but a lot of people thought she would get KO'd. That fight happened when I was competing the last time in February, and I remember a live bet Silva, she was like minus 200 after being 2-0 up. But I need to rewatch that fight. But I mean, I don't know how much value is on Jasmine. She does kind of slow down in round 3. She becomes even more hittable. Priscilla Cachoeira was stuffing most of her takedowns in round 3. So she kind of slows down. She's a bit hittable, but it just feels like a Jillian Robertson situation. She's younger. If she gets Viviane down, I don't hate these ones. I hate the ones where it's going to look value. Viviane's going to look value, and then she gives up a takedown. And she's also got gas tank issues. And it's in Denver, which is apparently elevation. So no interest at the moment. No interest. Writing high. I like how you write notes. It's so important. I mean, yeah, it is. It is, but it isn't. A lot of times, I don't even get back to these notes. I just write them down to get my thoughts down. Because if I don't write it down, it gets lost in my brain. But if I write it down on paper, I find it's easier to remember. Who knows? That could be bullshit. Luana Santos, Maria Agapova. I thought Maria Agapova was gone. I guess not. They're giving her one more chance. You would think it's one more chance. Actually, her record's not that bad. 3 and... Let's have a look. It's 4-2. So after she beat Hannah Cyphers and lost to Shannon Dobson, massive stunt right there, and she beat Marzo, she probably got a new contract, and then she got ran through by Moroz, so she might have... Oh no, she's 1, 2, 3. She's 3-2. She's got a couple more fights. I hope she's in a better spot. I know she was homeless and whatnot. But yeah, I bet Jillian, round 2 sub there. Jillian, pretty consistent to lose round 1, especially against the more physical girl. She beat the crap out of her there. She had like a massive hematoma. Maria Agapova. Her takedown defense is not bad. She did quite well against Tracy Cortez. I watched that because again, Tracy Cortez fighting in the main event. But yeah, she's decent. She's decent out of spinning out of the rear naked choke. But it's hard to gauge her. You know, she's a head case. She had some issues against Marina Moroz. She had issues against Gillian Robertson. I remember her knee was compromised, and she's still trained through it. So I don't know how she's coming in this fight. Do I agree on Luana Santos' massive favorite? Not really. She came in absolutely fat against Stephanie Egger, short notice, and she ended up winning. But that was competitive. I ended up live betting Egger. I thought it was 1-1 going to the third. I thought Egger won the third, and it was a unanimous. So I don't agree with that judges' scorecards. But that was a bantamweight. I perused her Instagram for educational reasons, and I saw that Luana Santos has now gone on the resume, and she was out of shape, and she's lost a bunch of weight, and she looks in shape now, and she's fighting at a natural weight class, so she probably should be the rightful favorite. She'll probably perform much better. I think the under here could be potentially good. We'll probably get good odds because women don't tend to have good unders, but who knows? Luana finished Juliana Miller in round one. He's got a bunch of finishes, and Maria Agapova loves to get finished. So let's just say if the under 2.5 is pick'em, I'll play it. I feel like minus money, 60% will be accurate here. I feel like Maria Agapova will go ham, and then she will either put herself in a compromising position. Laguna, this is a free win for Luana. Yeah, I would like to. What's the line? The line is $1.44. So it's $1.40 on Bet365. So that's 70%. I can't do it. I don't know about that, my friend. Don't disagree that she should be favorite. No doubt about it. I just can't do it. Luana hasn't really showed me too much. She should have finished Stephanie Egger. Alrighty. The reason I waited to do this podcast, Drew Dober, Gene Silva, beautiful, beautiful fight. Oh, violence. And Gene Silva's an animal. I'll admit I had some reservations about him too. That's why when money came in on, what's his name? Jourdain last minute, I didn't add any more than what I had. I had $700. I thought it should be Pick'em, but he ended up looking a massive favor over Charles Jourdain, no one's knocked out Charles Jourdain like that before. And yeah, turning around, quick turnaround, good on him. Absolute legend. Hits like a truck. Kevin Vallejos and both Charles Jourdain are incredibly durable guys, and he hurt both of them. I think he can hurt Drew Dober. Drew Dober's got a granite chin, but he gets hurt a lot, and his defense is a bit average. I completely forgot that I lost money on him against Renato Moicano. That was a tilting loss, 1-1 into the third. But yeah, I mean, I assume this is going to be lined at Pick'em. Do we have odds? No, we don't. This just came out today. That sucks. I feel like we're going to get Pick'em, and he probably should be Pick'em. Striking fight, competitive striking fight. Two guys with power, two guys with a good chin. We saw Gene Silva get cracked a couple of times by Jourdain, and he held up all right. So yeah, nothing to talk about here. Unders probably going to be Pick'em, 2.5 rounds. It's going to be hard to pick a side. That's my initial lean on this. Laguna, Gene might kill Dober, sadly. Yeah, anything's possible. I think Dober can kill Gene as well. It's one thing to take punches from Charles Jourdain, taking that straight left from Drew Dober. Popeyes, Dober is minus 155. Oh, that's right. Best fight odds suck balls. They don't have Bet Online anymore. Let me just change. What's the other one? Best fight odds. Fightodds.io, right? All right, changing it up. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that because, Drew Dober's more tested. Wait a minute. Gene Silva's moving up to lightweight. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Dober should be the favorite. It's his natural weight class. Gene Silva's moving up. 5'7", he's quite short. But I don't think he's a small guy. He's quite big. Dober's 35. He showed some low IQ against Moicano. I think this Dober 55% off Pick'em for me personally. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. I think this is gonna get Gene Silva in the good books for UFC because he missed weight. Alrighty, this is the one fight I taped in depth. Christian Ciro Rodriguez, Julian Erosa. I taped this like it was the fight week because I know some boys on Erosa. I know a lot of people on Erosa actually, tons. Hence why the line came in, and I can't fault anyone. Basically, Christian Rodriguez is good, but he doesn't have that much power. We know that Julian Erosa has issues with the chin, right? It's always baked into his line. But end of the day, he's a really good fighter. He's got some high level wins. He has finish wins, over Jamal Emmers, um, Sean Woodson, Nate Landwehr, Charles Jourdain. He's the only guy to sub Charles. He's the only guy to sub and finish Sean Woodson, and the only guy to beat Sean Woodson. Nate Landwehr, different story. He's a bit chinny. Beat Hakeem Dawodu. I was on him there at $3, massive underdog. I was on him against Ricardo Ramos. Yeah, I was on Padilla against him there. He basically whenever he's the favorite, he just fights horrible. You can see it against Steven Peterson, but when he's a dog, he delivers. It might be less pressure on him. He's a scrapper. He's going to have better cardio, better volume than C-Rod. C-Rod is fighting a featherweight, but it's basically the more technical guy in C-Rod. He's a solid Muay Thai fighter. Throws a switch knee, kicks, body kicks, leg kicks, nice 1-2, and he throws in combinations. Erosa's more unorthodox. Has a really long uppercut. Throws a spinning back fist. He tries to grapple. They both have really good jiu-jitsu. Erosa's never been subbed. That was one of the reasons why I played him against Ramos. But then even then, I said Ramos has no hands, and Ramos hurts him instantly. I can see Christian Rodriguez hurting him. I think anyone in the world is capable of knocking out Julian Erosa. So I think he should be the underdog here. He's a bit old, 34. C-Rod has a high ceiling, but he's never fought anyone that's as good as of a striker as Julian Erosa, right? He's been getting a lot of grapplers, one-dimensional grapplers, that are good fighters. Ryan Jr., Isaac Bulgarian, great fighters. Even Reyes Cortez, not the best fighter, but try to grapple him. And because his scrambling and his takedown defense is so elite, he basically just makes him gas out, and then he just outstrikes him. And even then, it's slim margins. He's an awful finisher. I've got that in my notes, as evident when he couldn't finish Raul Rosas in round 3 and a completely dead Isaac Bulgarian in round 3. I think this fight's going to look like Cameron Simon. Simon is a bit green. He couldn't really grapple him. C-Rod missed weight as well. C-Rod's a bit of a tank at featherweight as well, I should say. Even though he's moving up, he gives me some Kevin Gastelum vibes. He's quite solid. He's built like a fridge. But yeah, it's a roast or a pass. I haven't come around to it. I think it's going to go to the decision. I'm thinking maybe just play the overs would be better, or maybe just sprinkle a Rosa decision instead, or lie bet a Rosa when he gets hurt or something. But if he comes in really patient against, like he did against Davidu, it could look value. My only issue is Rosa's really good at beating these flakes. Ricardo Ramos, flake, chinny. He's a black belt and he always gets guillotined. Hakeem Davidu, flaky, chinny, really low volume. Lost the fight to, I watched Cub Swanson. Steven Peterson. Charles Jourdain, not the best fighter, even though people love him. Nate Langwehr, chinny. Sean Woodson was a good win and he broke him. So that's impressive. But a lot of these guys are flaky. And C-Rod isn't flaky. So essentially, Julian Erosa has to win a 3-round competitive decision where he doesn't, get hurt or rocked or make many mistakes. So I'm not rushing this one, especially with the line coming in. I feel like it's a little bit accurate now. A little bit accurate. What do we got? I have C-Rod maybe 60%. So actually, there's a bit of value there at 60%. The line is better on Bet365. What's $3? $3. Let me check now. Odds converter. But yeah, I think I'm not rushing this one. We'll see if any money comes back. But yeah, it's clear a Rosa or pass. Yeah, so 67% on Bet365. I think that's a bit too much. I think there's still value if you want to put like a quarter unit on a Rosa. It's a scary bet. I don't think he has any finishing upside on Rodriguez. That's why I'm not rushing to play it. Sean lost that Bulgarian fight. I definitely agree. Had no money on it, and I do think he beat Bulgarian, beat him. It's just the judging's so inconsistent. I want to see C-Rod versus Payton. I wouldn't mind giving Payton Yanez, which was his call out. That's a sick fight. Amazing fight. I would love to see it. And good way to get into the rankings. I think Baton would beat the shit out of him. All right, Cody Brundage, Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I get it. I get why Razak is the favorite. You know, the guy can kill anyone. He can definitely kill someone as flaky as Cody Brundage. He can probably take Cody Brundage down as well. It seems like someone that would shit themselves in front of Razak and do something stupid, like go for a guillotine. But yeah, I'm not in the game of playing Razak at minus money. Brundage cracks. He's a good explosive wrestler early. Uh, Razak has issues with takedown defense. You know, he's mauled by Jacob Malkoon, which whatever. Buckley was wrestling him, and you know Joe Piper was just mauling him. He's 38 years old. It pains me to say it's a dog or pass. If anything, Razak by KO. That's pretty much his money line. Cody, I want to just say I think Cody's extremely lucky to beat Zachary Reese. I think Reese beats him 9 out of 10 times. He was either going to triangle him if he didn't get slammed there, or he would have knocked him out later on. But yeah, he won that fight and he won the Jacob Malkoon fight. What would be a DQ? So good on him. But yeah, this is like a shit show fight. The under 1.5 is probably going to be minus 200, and yeah, probably has some value to be honest. David L, the round one Brundage system play. Yeah, I don't know. Let me do some wiki capping. Yeah, Razak. Maybe this is the time to play Razak round one. He killed the Chirico in 17 seconds. Extremely durable guy. Yeah, Razak could be KO'd, man. This is just a wild volatility right here. Wild volatility. Under 1.5, but you know, it's not going to be a great fight value wise, in my opinion. Gabriel Bonfim, Ange Lusa. Yeah, this feels like a squash, like a setup. Like Lusa's all right, but you know, he's no Nicholas Dalby. Dalby was losing about 7.5 minutes of that fight up until Bonfim gassed. You would think he might have learned for something. If Bonfim fights patiently here, it should be at Lusa. Lusa is just so negative, and he's a bit of a pansy. He hates adversity. He was easily outstruck by Muniz. He does seem to have good takedown defense, so maybe you'll force Gabriel to strike with him. But Gabriel has great hands, great boxing. He's just a little bit hittable. But yeah, I'm not a Gabriel truther. You know, I'm not about to parlay him. I played the under 1.5 with him against Trevin Giles. It was a pick'em. It was just a no-brainer that Trevin Giles was going to put his head in the guillotine. I have to look into some Ange Lusa, submission defense. From memory, he seems to be all right. But yeah, this fight, you probably live bet Lusa. Oh man, what a co-main event! This might be one of the worst cards, level-wise, in a while. We got washed Santiago Ponzinibbio versus extremely washed Muslim Salikov. Yeah, this fight, man, this fight. Yeah, Ponzinibbio is minus 200. The dude's chinny, he's washed, but he can probably still KO Muslim Salikov. Play minus 200 on Santiago. This is like one of those ones where Muslim is extremely capable of killing him with a spinning wheel kick or something. He dropped Nicolas Dalby a couple of times before Dalby broke him with his cardio. Santiago doesn't grapple that much. His cardio is good. Maybe just play the under here. Play the under and, look how many of these fights. Well, Dalby didn't go under, but it was close. Dalby also hurt him. Dalby couldn't bust the grape. I think the under could be good here. I played the Kevin Holland inside the distance over Ponzinibbio. Took him 3 rounds, but he dropped him in like every single round. And his main weapon was his right hand was broken. So I think that could have been like a round 1 KO. But I don't get it. I don't get, Ponzinibbio being minus 200 coming off that KO loss. So yeah, this is a clear dog or pass. Maybe the under 1.5 is good. We shall see. But this is just volatility personified right here. Dog or pass, look at some unders. And another fight that I pretty much taped. Rose Namajunas, Tracy Cortez. As I mentioned, I taped a bit of Cortez, Agapova, Jasmine Jusevicius. I didn't tape Garda, but I remember she had her back taken a couple of times, was taken down. The takedown defense is quite elite, but she was taken down there. And, she's got defensive issues. She was hurt by Kish. She was hurt by Stephanie Egger, up kick and back taken. But I think she's extremely hard to finish. I think her submission defense is elite. And, I think even if Rose hits her, I don't think she's going to knock her out. I saw Rose versus Amanda Ribas. She landed a couple of good strikes, and Ribas didn't even really react. And Ribas, has one of the worst chin in terms of female division. So, yeah, Rose just doesn't look very impressive to me recently. She just kind of looks a bit washed, a bit chubby, past her prime. I don't think this is the weight class for her. Rose took it down a bunch of times. Two judges gave it 4 rounds to 1. I disagree with that. I was tilted and I bet Rebus, whatever. That was a stupid bet. The over at Pick'em 4.5 was the play there. Is sailed over. Obviously hindsight things, but this is a clear logo pass. I know some people playing Tracy, and then since they've played it, the line improved to even better. I wish I hit that. Maybe Tracy Cortez by decision could be the spot. She's extremely negative in terms of finishing. I think that over 4, it's going to be 4.5 rounds, and I think it's going to be minus 200, and I think that's going to be accurate. I don't envision either of these girls finishing. Tracy has no finishes in the UFC. She's a good backpacker, but average rear naked choke. I don't see her submitting Rose. I think Rose showed good get-ups against Ribas, but Ribas took it down a bunch of times. I think Tracy's the better wrestler. She's not going to go for the stupid head and arm throws. So if Cortez can get takedowns and get some top time, she's going to look value. Her boxing looked improved against Jasmine. She was rocking her all around the place. This is a clear dog or pass. I don't know where to line it. Maybe Rose 60%. What does that put me? 60%, $1.67. Okay, there's a bit of value. If that's accurate, there's a bit of value. This is in Denver, which is, again, elevation. Rose's cardio looked pretty trash against Ribas. Ribas is a solo IQ. With the amount of cardio and volume that she had over Rose, she should have beat her. Rose basically didn't throw anything in rounds 4 and 5, and she still won. So with Denver, this, Tracy could be the side. She did slow down against Jasmine a bit. I think she slowed down in rounds 3 against Melissa Mello as well. Yeah, it's a dog or pass. That's it. I might just play some Cortez. Alrighty, that's it. Let's go over it quickly and then get out of here. Montel Jackson, Blackshear, I'm not too sure. Van, Charles Johnson, just pre-tape feels like a live betting fight. Over is going to be steamed. Josh Friend, Petrosky, played the unders. This feels like whatever. Maybe Friend inside the distance. Aruja, Jasmine, kind of feels accurate. I have to look into it some more. Luana, I think I'm going to be on the under here. Luana's going to be in shape. We'll have a look. Drudova Silva's excellent fight. I'm not sure I'm going to have a good lean. Tape-wise, Arosa, dogger pass, clear dogger pass. Arosa decision, maybe go the distance. We'll see. Cody Brundage, Al Hassan, I'll be looking at that under 1.5. Lusa, live better pass. Maybe look at some Bonfin inside the distance. This seems like a setup, a bounce back. Ponzinibbio, Muslim, dogger pass. Maybe play the unders instead. And Tracy, dogger pass. I'm quite close on Tracy, actually. And now that I broke down Muslim out loud, I might just lock him in as well. So there's a couple of things I'm close on. Obviously, we've got a lot more till next week. Hopefully, I'll put this out. I'll put this out early next week, and then I can have another time slot for a regional show. There's a lot of regionals. Let me know which regionals you would want. I'm definitely not doing PFL Arabs, so don't put that one down. But yeah, other than that, we've got LFA Brazil this week. I'll do a podcast. It's super squash, just juice city everywhere, and some high-level 1FC fights. I'm already taping those. They take a lot more time because I haven't seen most of those fighters. But yeah, other than that, thanks for listening. Big Bird, I saw Brandon Olivas tap Tracy Cortez with my own eyes. How do we cap that? I'm not bullish on that, to be honest. Quite bearish, to be honest. But, Santino black belt. Can't go wrong. Yes. Anyway, like and subscribe. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment. Leave a comment of some regionals that you would like me to break down next week. All right. Till next time.